Orange County is a 2002 American comedy film starring Colin Hanks and Jack Black. It was released on January 11, 2002. The movie was distributed by Paramount Pictures and produced by MTV Films and Scott Rudin. The movie was directed by Jake Kasdan and written by Mike White. Plot: Sean Brumder is a teenager from affluent Orange County, California. Although bright and intelligent, he has very little interest in education or studying, instead trying to lead a carefree so-called lifestyle of surfing, drinking, and partying. A turning point comes when Sean's best friend Lonnie is killed in a surfing accident, causing Sean to rethink his own life. One day, he finds a novel on the beach by the author Marcus Skinner, which quickly inspires him to become a writer. Upon learning that Skinner is an English professor at Stanford University, Sean makes it his goal to attend Stanford and study under him. Seeing it as an opportunity to escape from his superficial life in Orange County, Sean dramatically improves himself academically, obtaining high grades and SAT scores as well as becoming the president of his graduating class. Following the advice of his guidance counselor, Ms. Cobb, who tells him that he is a shoo-in for acceptance, Sean applies only to Stanford. This severely backfires as Sean later finds out that he is rejected from Stanford, ironically because Ms. Cobb mixed up his academic transcript with that of a much less intelligent student. Sean then reaches out to his wealthy father Bud, who had left his wife and family to marry a much younger woman, pleading him to donate money to Stanford in order to increase his chances of being accepted. Bud, however, disapproves of Sean's dream of being a writer and refuses. In an attempt to help him, Sean's animal rights activist girlfriend Ashley successfully convinces her friend Tanya to allow Sean to be interviewed at his home by Tanya's grandfather, a Stanford board member, so Sean can explain his situation. Unfortunately, the antics displayed during the interview by his dysfunctional family members, including his alcoholic, emotionally fragile mother Cindy and his dim-witted stoner brother Lance, cause Sean's interviewers to storm out in anger and disgust. In a last-ditch effort to get him accepted, Ashley and Lance convince Sean to drive to Palo Alto and plead his case directly to Stanford admissions director Don Durkett. By the time the trio arrive on campus, it is nighttime and the admissions building is already closed. While Lance distracts the secretary on duty in the office, Sean and Ashley steal the address to Durkett's house. They arrive at his home, where Sean shows him in his real high school transcript. Although impressed with Sean's credentials, Durkett is reluctant to admit him, as it is already very late in the admissions process. After much groveling, Sean finally convinces Durkett to go back to his office in the admissions building and give it a second thought. Disaster strikes again, however, when Ashley drugs Durkett by accident with Lance's ecstasy, stored in an Excedrin bottle, thereby causing Durkett to become high. Things go from bad to worse when Sean and Ashley arrive at the admissions building and find it engulfed in flames. They abandon their hallucinating Durkett and flee the scene to avoid being arrested. Ashley finally becomes frustrated with Sean's obsession of only getting into Stanford, and points out that his attending would mean they would be separated, thus ending their relationship. She then angrily leaves Sean on his own. Depressed, Sean wanders the campus and meets a female student who invites him to a frat party. There, he witnesses the behavior of the Stanford co-eds and is disappointed to learn that they are just as vapid and ditzy as the girls he knew from Orange County. After leaving the party with a more cynical view of college, Sean, by chance, runs into Professor Skinner and is invited to his office to chat. Skinner is amused with Sean's belief that he must study and work in a highly intelligent environment in order to become successful, pointing out that many famous authors such as James Joyce and William Faulkner grew up in places that were not intellectually stimulating, but still became great writers. Having an epiphany, Sean realizes his previous misguided intentions and seeks out Ashley to apologize to her. After catching up with her, the two also pick up Lance and drive home. Back in Orange County, Sean's parents seek out each other to determine how to deal with Sean's problem. They end up reconciling, realizing that they are much happier together than with their respective new spouses. They also conclude that they have not been very good parents to Sean, and, in an attempt to make amends, Bud donates enough money to Stanford for the construction of a brand new admissions building. This action gets Sean accepted into Stanford. Although Sean is initially ecstatic, he then remembers the things that both Ashley and Professor Skinner had told him. Sean finally decides to stay in Orange County with Ashley and his family because he loves them too much to leave them, and he is now able to view living in Orange County as a positive influence for his writing career, rather than a detriment. The film ends with Sean going surfing with his friends again for the first time since Lonnie's death. Cast: Colin Hanks as Sean Brumder, Jack Black as Lance Brumder, Catherine O'Hara as Cindy Brumder, Skylar Fisk as Ashley, John Lithgow as Bud Brumder, Harold Ramis as Don Durkett, Jane Addams as Mona, Gary Marshall as Arthur Gartner, Dana Ivey as Vera Gartner, Carly Pope as Tanya, Chevy Chase as Principal Harbert, Lily Tomlin as Charlotte Cobb, college counselor, Leslie Mann as Krista, Brett Harrison as Lonnie, Kyle Howard as Arlo, R.J. Noel as Chad, George Murdoch as Bob Bugler, Monica Keena as Gretchen, Fran Kranz as Shane Brainard, Mike White as Mr. Burke, English teacher, Sarah Hagan as Sarah, Lizzie Kaplan as Party Girl, Nat Faxon as Kip, Alexandra Breckenridge as Anna, Kevin Kline as Marcus Skinner, Ben Stiller as the firefighter. Reception: Orange County was given 3 of 4 stars by Roger Ebert, who described it as one of those happy projects where everything seems to fall naturally into place. It will sound like the kind of movie that, if you are over 17, you don't usually go to see. But it isn't. It's one of those movies where the description can't do justice to the experience. The film currently holds a rating of 5.2, 10 and 46% rotten on Rotten Tomatoes. It garnered a better reception abroad than domestically. Matthew Turner of View London states that, though there are no real belly laughs or any Farrelly-like set pieces, this is still a better than average comedy, thanks to its witty script and its amusing collection of characters. Worth watching, while Brian McKay of FilmCritic.com describes it as a notch above the usual tripe we get from MTV films, but it's not a very big notch. Soundtrack: the soundtrack was released on 2 discs on December 18, 2001. The movie itself contains 25 credited songs, leaving 9 out of the soundtrack: Defy You, The Offspring, Story of My Life, Social Distortion, The One, Foo Fighters, Shadow Stabbing, Cake, Butterfly, Crazy Town, First Time, Bad Ronald, Lay Down Burden, Brian Wilson, Everything's Cool, Lit, Glad That It's Over 12 Rods, Stick 'Em Up, Quarashi, Lose You, Pete Yorn, Under the Tracks, Creeper Lagoon, Love and Mercy, Brian Wilson, California, Phantom Planet, Hello, Sugar Bomb.